Hey everybody, it's Funny once again. I hope you're doing well today. I'm rambling about the Korg MS2000. This is the rack mount version. It's a digital synthesizer from the turn of the millennium, and it sounds like this. Okay, desktop synthesizers like this one are a bit of a challenge for me. This is totally out of my lane, but nothing's going to stop me from doing an episode on anything I can get my hands on, basically. So we're going to do just that. MS2000 4-voice bi-timbral synthesizer from the turn of the millennium, like I said. I don't know what you can say about it. Obviously, the kind of glaring thing that people always mention when it comes to the MS2000 is that this is what the Micro Korg 1 was based off of. The Micro Korg, at least to my mind, is about as ubiquitous as a synthesizer as you can get. So to see this with more dedicated controls and sort of think about the things that were actually under the hood of the Micro Korg, maybe if they were presented in a different way, I might like it more. But anyway, MS2000. It's funny to see sort of, I don't know, in synthesizers now talking about analog modeling as like its own type of synthesis, but in my mind it was just a digital synth trying to sound analog, and it sounds amazing. I kind of prefer it for its like super digital stuff. If you know me, you know the channel. I love my digital voices, and you know, I like analog too, but I just feel like I'm trying to emulate things when you can just be, this sounds like a metaphor, but like trying to emulate something else when you can just be your own cool, unique thing, is really powerful, so we're going to do that today. Like I said, I'm no expert, so we're just going to have a good time and check it out together. Okay, so we're going to start by init program. Yes? Are you sure you're sure? Yes, we are. We have completed our initialization. Okay, because I don't know music theory, like the meme says, let's go arpeggiator. 4 notes. Got my filter all the way open. Got my filter all the way open, resonance all the way down. Trying to keep this as initialized as possible so we can just listen to the oscillators themselves. We have the first one being saw wave. You get 2 controls basically. First is sort of a macro for the wave shaper, and it depends on the different wave you're using, but you get some sort of phase offset, I guess. I hear a little supersawiness in that I really like, and that's kind of the flavor, the specialness of the 2000s, I would say, is this sort of stuff. Everything from this era just sort of had this, like, not quite PWM chorusiness stuff. Like, I'm thinking the JP8080 had something similar going on, and I really love that. Maybe I just have a soft spot for that stuff, because that's when I was growing up. And then the right one is usually a sort of like VCA for the LFO1. So if I turn up my LFO1 rate to audio rate almost, you hear it's can be bypassed all the way down or blended in. How much do you want? So I'll slow that way down so we get a slowly drifting modulation of that. It's kind of wavefoldy, right? Next wave shape, PWM. You can set pulse width, and it will go all the way to 0 or 100, but it'll act like a VCA basically. And then we'll use that LFO1 again. Very cool. We love it. If I go into bass territory now, octave down on the left here. Sounds analog to me. I know it's not real, but you used to be about the music, man. You changed. Okay. Up into triangle. And this one has some like cross-moddy sounding stuff going on. Almost sounds like ring mod to me. I really like it. Just everything on here has like this is what I really like about digital, right? Is it just goes beyond. They're just unique timbres, I guess is what an adult would say. And then sine with cross is written on there, so this is cross mod. And I don't know how they have this set up in just a way that is ideal to me, but listen to this. That's a little farty, hold on. I just really like this stuff. Hold on, let's go real slow with it. Just this almost wavefoldy sounding thing. I really dig it. It's cross mod with LFO1. So we go to audio rate. If we go to audio rate, it'll basically lose its pitch itself. But yeah, very cool. Also, you know, I'm resisting the urge. I'm resisting the urge to jump ahead to the LFO section, but triangle wave right now, so you can do different cross mods like that. We'll go into Vox wave. These digital wave shapes are some of my favorite on here. Turn this up a little bit. Kind of get control 1 for that shaping, and then control here for modulation of the shape. And just like they were giving you really interesting timbres for something that's marketed as being analog. I really appreciate it. This one is one of my favorite, the dogs. Digital wavetable generating something? Who let the dogs out? You don't watch this channel for the scientific merit. But listen to that. If we do sample and hold, sorry, I said I wouldn't jump ahead. Oh no, this isn't. Okay, so on the screen here, sorry, I'm getting too comfortable. You can change your voicing. So there's a whole bunch of digital wavetables. Sin sign. Yeah. I love this stuff. Fifths in there. And crank your polyphony up. This is like the mini log with their digital voices, except not quite, but listen. This stuff blended sounds really good. Noise, there is a noise on here, so you don't have to use this one, but it does do pitch. Sort of. Interesting pitch. Circuit. Audio in. Obviously the micro Korg did tons with the vocoder, or at least it was like very, you know, classic micro Korg in my mind is that gooseneck and doing all that vocoding stuff. I'm not going to really noodle with any of that today. I find vocoding's not super for me. I love processing vocals, but I don't really like imprinting them on synthesizers, if that makes sense. Not really my jam as much, but hey, maybe I can discover it someday. Let's listen to Oscillator 2. It has a couple different things it can do. So it has just that saw. But this has tuning controls, and then fine on the right, we have our square. I do believe there are ways deep in the menu to actually assign PWM to this one. I may be mistaken on that one, but stuff that's not quite on here. So we have wave, os mod, so you can do ring mod. I need to have the other oscillators going. We'll just go to a triangle wave. So yeah, ring mod. Or sync. Sync. Or both. Cool. Let's go into our wavetable one. Yeah, I don't really think of ring modding with saw, but hey. That's another thing I usually like. I don't really like ring mod generally, but then I'm hearing here and I'm like, eh, that's actually kind of nice. Sync and ring mod. Yeah. Cool. So we'll just get down to something a little more straightforward. I like that wavetable synth, so let's go in and find a wavetable I like. Endless? No. Synwave. Take off our syncing. We'll turn down oscillator 2. Maybe we'll just stack it with a saw, and we'll just do a little fine tune out of sync. Just a hair out of tune, so we can get a little bit of that goodness. Yeah, let's just do saws. Dual saws. Screw it. Yeah, blend in a little bit of noise. And we'll talk about the filters. So it actually has a lot of tools to the filter here. We have cutoff. I'm in 12 dB low pass filter mode. And it sounds really good. Here comes some resonance. It's really aggressive too, if you want it to be. Like this will just self-oscillate. Although I will say it doesn't feel like analog filter self-oscillation where it just kind of blows your face off. It feels a little more, I don't know, they digitally found a threshold where instead of just having it actually feed back on you, it's like, okay, once the resonance is to a certain point, then we'll let it go, right? Which is totally more musical, but does behave a little bit differently than I might expect. Resonance up to 50. And then we'll switch modes. Here's bandpass. And I don't know, this thing also excels at like being really gritty. So this bandpass, super appreciated, is always 12 dB. Here's high pass. Yeah. And notice this does a good bass boost under certain conditions. Right? Here's 24 dB. Resonance is cranked there, so I'm going to go up a little bit. I do like that one. Just makes your sweeps a little more aggressive. I like that. So we'll leave it that. For simplicity today, because this is going to be way too long anyway, by timbral you can do 2 different timbres for the high and low part, or however you want to assign it. I think that's really cool, really powerful. Interesting that the polyphony count is 4, yet it can do multi-timbrality in a way. That's really interesting to me. Gonna skip over that. Same for mod sequencing. I'm not going to use the sequencer on board here today, but like knob recording, the sort of Electribe era stuff, like, yeah, like I really appreciate that about it. Let's bring in some filter envelope. And then we'll bring that up on the filter side. All pretty immediate on the panel. It's a pretty sweet synthesizer, I'd say. And then amp envelope again, ADSR on the panel, super appreciated. I'll bring in some attack, and maybe we'll open our filter a little bit more. Go down an octave too, because this is a little, I don't know. A little too much noise maybe. Crank up our oscillators. Crank up our tempo too, just for fun. Let's do something more aggressive. Get that bandpass filter going. Make sure we have keyboard tracking way up then. And I like the aggressive side of this thing. Is really something I appreciate. A little bit more noise. Maybe let's go down to PWM. So I'm listening to my first oscillator. Do a little more bassy stuff. Maybe we'll go square for our oscillator 2, and then we'll do something digital on oscillator 1. E pianos, let's go. Your Rompler is jealous. Rompler is jealous. Distortion. Yes. Ooh. Okay. 303 is jealous. This is sort of, yeah, good digital stuff. So, yeah, almost like throaty guitar-y territory. I really like that. Effects. Let's go in and bring in some delay. Yeah. Yes. Hell yeah. Nice on the panel. And then I'll say, go to a little pass again. Go to a little pass again just for fun. Yeah. Virtual patch matrix here. Bring our tempo down here. Get into some other arpeggio modes before we all lose our mind here. Virtual patch here, I really love this mod matrix. It's kind of one of the things I really dislike about desktop synthesizers most of the time is the mod matrices are usually a big headache in my mind, but this one actually really well laid out. So what do you want? Well, I want to send, let's say LFO2, and then if you cycle through them, you see that it's all different patches, so you can just turn up or down the intensity, positive or negative, on the different patches. So I'll select patch 2. Patch 3, all different things. We'll go to patch 2 and turn that down for a minute. But okay, so let's say on my patch 4, and I'm thinking modular brain right now, we'll go mod source. I want to send envelope generator to somewhere like, let's go oscillator 1, control 1. So that's modulating this now on top of how we already did it there. Well, I'm sending the LFO through control 2, but I can add another layer of spice by sending the envelope generator to that as well, which I really appreciate. And you get 4 of these too. Like, I don't know, I feel like, I don't know, since they're coming out now aren't as well laid out as this, so I really appreciate that about it. So instead of pitch, which I don't like to do, let's go to, I don't know, cutoff. And maybe we'll just send it a little positive. So now LFO1, go to audio rate, sending a little bit of modulation to the filter cutoff. Or amp. Cutoff is where I want to be. And then maybe we'll just patch 2. I started on 4 for Lord knows what reason. We'll go into LFO1, no, LFO2, and then we'll make this amp. And you can cross mod LFO2 frequency too, that's pretty crazy. Let's go to amp. So we can get some of this cool stuff going on. Maybe we'll try pan just for fun. What if pan? Yeah. Science. Yes. Yeah, I mean, so these things come up ridiculously cheap pretty often. I don't know why. They just, being digital, they don't have the clout that other stuff from the era did, although the JP8080 is super well loved, and for whatever reason this isn't quite as loved. If you can get it for like stupidly cheap, and you're looking to get into synthesis especially, MS2000 is an awesome option. I wish the micro-Korg was this easy to handle. Alright, I'm Tafony. Sorry, it's just a brief scratching of the surface, but hey, I love a little nostalgia for the millennium. Take care, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video.